Annie Oakley was born in 1860 in rural Ohio and became one of the most renowned sharpshooters of the American Old West. Her journey to fame began humbly when her extraordinary skill with firearms caught the attention at a local shooting contest, standing out from all the other participants. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, established by William Cody in 1883, stood out as one of the most prestigious and popular attractions in the late 19th century. This show, which traveled to various regions of the United States and even captivated European audiences, provided a vivid and dynamic representation of the life and culture of the American Old West. The story of Olive Ann Oatman was punctuated by truly exceptional events. In 1851, at the tender age of 14, she experienced a dramatic episode. While traveling with her family towards California, they were captured by a group of Tolcapayas Native Americans. After the capture, Olive was traded and delivered to the Mojave people, where she spent the next 4 years of her life. Jesse James, a renowned American outlaw, became widely recognized for his daring robbery activities during the latter half of the 19th century. His origins date back to 1847 when he was born in Missouri, a state deeply affected by the tensions and dissensions arising from the American Civil War, where loyalties often split between the Union and the Confederates. Belle Starr, a notorious figure in the American West, gained prominence due to her extraordinary skills in handling firearms and her strong and temperamental personality. One of the most iconic accounts of her involves her ability to ride a horse side saddle, a style considered unconventional at the time. In the heart of what was once called the Old West, the town of Ogallala established itself as a vital point for cowboys, travelers, and from time to time, outlaws. Its foundation dates back to the year 1885, when it was named in honor of the Sioux leader Ogallala. The historically known era as the Old West became notorious for its perilous adventures, and one of the iconic figures who embodied this spirit was Billy the Kid. Born in 1859 in New York, Billy the Kid, whose real name was Henry McCarty, migrated to the West during his youth and quickly gained notoriety for his inclination to involve himself in contentious situations and acts of defiance. James Marshall, an American prospector, became immortalized in history due to his iconic discovery of gold at Sutter's Mill in the year 1848. This event triggered the famous California Gold Rush, an occurrence that not only radically altered the course of his own life, but also left a lasting impact on the historical and economic trajectory of the United States. Bass Reeves is a legendary figure in the American Old West. Hailing from a background of slavery in Arkansas, his life followed an extraordinary path, culminating in a remarkable career in law enforcement. Throughout his extensive journey, Reeves apprehended over 3,000 criminals, solidifying his reputation as one of the most effective lawmen of the Old West. The Pony Express was a remarkably swift mail delivery service that operated in the United States from 1860 to 1861, during a critical moment in American history. Its audacious mission was to transport letters and small packages between Missouri and California within a maximum time frame of 10 days. Wild Bill Hickok, one of the most iconic and famous figures of the American Old West, is notably remembered for his exceptional skills as a marksman. He was born in 1837 in the state of Illinois, and his life's journey was filled with twists and adventures that solidified his status as a true Western legend. Butch Cassidy is one of the most iconic and intriguing figures of the American Old West. Initially, Cassidy began his career in the criminal underworld by committing petty crimes, notably horse theft, a common yet dangerous practice at the time. As time went on, he expanded his criminal activities to include bank robberies and train heists in his repertoire. Mary Fields, a historically significant figure, came into the world under the burden of slavery in Davidson County, Tennessee, in 1832. In the early years of her life, she endured the harsh adversities of forced labor on cotton plantations. In a notable milestone in 1895, Mary Fields achieved the distinction of being the first African-American woman to serve as a mail carrier in the United States. A cowboy's daily routine in the field was characterized by long hours of isolation and strenuous labor, often in adverse conditions. A cowboy's day would begin long before dawn, when the sky was still shrouded in darkness and the stars were shining. The Battle of Little Bighorn, which took place in June 1876, is unquestionably one of the most iconic and impactful episodes in the narrative of American Western history. In this conflict, we witnessed the remarkable clash between a united coalition of warriors from the Lakota and Cheyenne tribes, led by the prominent chiefs Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. Big Nose Kate, a notable figure of the American Old West, had a life filled with twists and adventures. She was born in Ireland in 1846 and immigrated to the United States when she was very young. Upon arriving in the United States, Kate settled in the bustling and at times ruthless Western frontier. Initially, she gained fame as a dancer, playing a role that would place her at the center of the social life of that era. Fanny Porter, a prominent figure of the 19th century in the United States, gained notoriety as the owner of a brothel in San Antonio, Texas. Fanny Porter's establishment was not merely a commonplace, but became a preferred destination for wealthy and influential men from all over Texas. She built her reputation as a respected and successful madam during that era. On October 26, 1881, an armed confrontation became etched in memory as the famous gunfight at the OK Corral in the town of Tombstone, Arizona. This event has become one of the most iconic landmarks of the American Old West, symbolizing a pivotal moment in the narrative of law and disorder during that tumultuous era. The shootout was triggered by a growing conflict between Ike and Billy Clanton, along with their allies, and the local authority represented by the town's sheriff. The Wild Bunch, a notorious gang of outlaws that operated in the late 19th century in the American West, is remembered as one of the most infamous criminal organizations of that era. Under the leadership of Robert Leroy Parker, who gained notoriety under the alias Butch Cassidy, the group executed a series of daring and meticulously planned robberies that have become legendary in the history of the Old West. Cole Younger, one of the most famous criminals in American history, was born in the state of Missouri in 1844. From his youth, he found himself immersed in the world of crime, paving a path that would lead him to become a notorious and fearless figure in the American West narrative. One of the crucial moments in his criminal career occurred in 1865 when he formed a partnership with Jesse James, another prominent name in the Old West crime scene. San Francisco is a notable city for its continuous evolution and transformation, and its history is especially characterized by dramatic changes. The famous California Gold Rush sparked a radical transformation in the city. Starting as a quiet and sleepy town, San Francisco rapidly ascended to the status of a steadily growing metropolis. John Wesley Hardin, a notorious figure in the American Old West, was born in 1853 in the city of Bonham, Texas. Although his family had a strong and religious foundation, Hardin ended up following a path that would turn him into one of the most feared outlaws of the Wild West, deeply contradicting the values he was taught during his youth. Central City, located in the state of Colorado, is a small town that carries with it a rich and lengthy history. It played a prominent role as a typical frontier town during the Old West era. During this period, the town was a hub of activity and excitement, gaining prominence for its notable abundance of bars and gambling houses. Ezra Meeker stood out as an iconic figure of the Old West, recognized for his role as a pioneer in the expansion and colonization of this challenging region of the United States. His life's journey was marked by a series of ventures and adventures that had a substantial impact on the development of the American West. The Old West, an era characterized by intense exploration and adventure, had homesteaders, settlers who established themselves on the frontier lands, as key figures in the process of expanding and developing the American frontier. These individuals and their families played a crucial role in transforming vast and often challenging expanses of land into thriving communities. Calamity Jane gained prominence in the American Old West due to her unconventional lifestyle, exceptional skill with firearms, and her close relationship with the famous folk hero, Wild Bill Hickok. It was in 1876 that their paths crossed in Deadwood, South Dakota, marking the beginning of a friendship that quickly blossomed. Tombstone, located in the state of Arizona, earned its fame as an iconic Old West town, and this reputation is well-deserved. The town stood out as one of the most tumultuous and lawless in the Old West, drawing a diverse range of outlaws, gunmen, and adventurers. Additionally, Tombstone became immortalized in history due to the notorious shootout at the OK Corral. Geronimo, born in what is now the area of Arizona, was a member of the Bedonkohe tribe of the Apache people. From his youth, he stood out as a warrior and gained a notable reputation for his combat prowess. Throughout his life, Geronimo led his people in a series of successful attacks against Mexican and American targets. The Anti-Saloon League, founded in 1893 in the United States, emerged as an influential political organization committed to promoting alcohol prohibition. Over time, its political influence grew significantly. Particularly in the Midwest of the country, the League played a crucial role by being instrumental in the passage of various state laws that restricted or prohibited alcohol consumption. In the late 19th century, poker emerged as the dominant form of gambling in the American Old West. Both criminals and lawmen regularly frequented gaming halls to engage in card games, where the frequent twists of the cards often determined the outcome of bets. The California Gold Rush, which began in 1848, is recognized as one of the most significant events in United States history. This phenomenon drew a crowd of thousands of individuals from various parts of the world to California, all driven by the hope of discovering gold. This massive influx of new inhabitants had a profound impact on the state. Additionally, the gold rush triggered a substantial increase in trade and commerce, boosting the region's economy and contributing to a notable rise in commodity prices.